There are different STLC methodologies. Okay. Previously, a lot of people use the waterfall model. Okay, what is waterfall model? Right. So let's say if we take the example of some web application. Okay, you want to develop some web application which has a lot of functionality. Okay, let me show you some web application which has a lot of functionality. Okay, if you take this one, this website, you will see a lot of functionality. If you log in, right? So in this website, you can view your mutual funds, you can buy or you can sell, okay, or you can started the SIP, systematic investment plan, or you can cancel the SIP, lot of functionality. Okay, log in and log out. Let me show you. Okay. First, it will load the dashboard page. Okay, home page. Then you can see your portfolio. Okay, what are all the different portfolios you have, and it's up or down, the how much amount you have. The same way, if you click on this, you see dashboard. Okay, this is the dashboard page, right? Same way, you have transact or invest now to buy anything, and again different options, SIP or lump sum, okay, or save tax, transact. You see switch STP. You can switch the mutual funds. You can redeem. You can sell it. You can cancel redemption, and portfolio, goal planning, my transactions. Again, if you go to my transactions, I think it will show you all the history. Okay, and in which portfolio. Let's say this is portfolio 1. What are the transactions? It's not manual. You see SIP. Understand? Something it's automatically doing. Right? So much functionality. Right? So to develop this project, it will take a lot of time, right? To develop this application. More than 100 pages. You go to each individual page. Let's say it is 1 year project. Okay? We are going for waterfall model. What will happen for all the 100 pages? We'll first gather the requirement. So that will take, let's say, 40% of the time. It will go for the requirement analysis. Okay? So it will take, let's say, 3 months or 4 months. Understand? 3 months or 4 months we are taking for the requirement analysis. Okay? Then it will go for the design. Okay? It will go for the design. Then after the design is done, then we will go to the development phase. Let's say development is taking 4 months. Understand? Then it will come for the testing. Understand? It will come for the testing phase. Now after the testing is done, it goes to the production. Then support. So only one time we are going to the production. In waterfall model, only one time. When we are going, we are not doing any parallel work. One stage, one phase after one phase, right? First phase, 4 months. Okay, then design phase, 3 months. Once this is properly done, requirement analysis for all the web page, then only we are going for the design phase. And once the design is done, then only we are going for the development phase. Once the development is done, then only we are going for the testing phase. So the customer, here who is the customer? Let's say Axis Mutual Fund, Axis Bank. Customer has to wait for 1 year to see the working version of the software. Yes or no? Right? Okay, we are going to production only once everything is done, right? So here requirements are very clear and requirements are locked. Okay, first requirements are locked, then we do the requirement analysis. Changes are not allowed. Changes are not allowed in the requirement. Okay, then requirement analysis will be done, then design, development, then testing. Let's say while you are testing, you find a critical bug. You found a critical bug which is related to the main functionality is not working. Main functionality means, let's say here we have, in this website, we have, what is this website about? Tell me. Access Mutual Fund, what is this website about? Buying and selling mutual funds, right? Buying.
Yes.
So, let's say if you are planning to buy, let's say here we go to asset, somewhere, invest now, some. We are planning to buy something, okay? Access Triple Advantage Fund, something like the invest. You are planning to buy, let's say you enter 5,000 rupees here. Okay, you enter 10 rupees or 1 lakh rupees something, and growth, add to cart, successfully added this to cart. Now you are not able to complete the payment, right? Or if the customer is buying for 5,000 rupees, it's deducting only 3,000 rupees from them. What will happen? That's a bug, right? Critical bug, right? It's a financial site. Okay, customer is actually buying 5,000 rupees worth of mutual funds, but this website deducted only 3,000 rupees from their account. So who will get the loss here? Tell me. Fit and who will get loss? Customer will get benefit. Customer will get benefit. Access Bank will get the loss. There are so many transactions, right? So many transactions, right? So say you found a critical bug that is related to the design. Somewhere design is wrong. Then the website design needs to be changed. It will take time, right? Again, if the design is changed, again they need to spend some time for development. Right? Then they need to spend some time for development. If development is changed, again you need to spend time for testing. Right? Testing. So that is the major drawback of this waterfall model. Customer has to wait until it came to the customer has to wait a lot of time to see the working version of the software. If we want to give any feedback or anything, he has to wait for 1 year or 2 years because we are going to production only once, right? Understand? Clear?
Yeah.
But there are some advantages also. Here requirements are locked. We have clear requirements. Requirements won't be changed. Okay, and team size can be anything, big one, and team can work from anywhere, on-site, offshore, or any model. Understand? You can work from anywhere. These are all some of the advantages. Understand? To fix that issue, now we have Agile methodology. Almost 99% of the clients, they are using the Agile methodology. If you take the same example, same website, what they do, they split that into multiple releases. Okay, so they split the entire requirement into small user stories. User story is nothing but a requirement. Understand? User story nothing but so here login functionality. Login is one user story. Logout is one user story. This navigation is one user story. This global navigation is one user story. Footer is one user story. Understand? Again, dashboard page is one user story. Now transact, again switch is one user story. STP is one user story. Like that, small requirements they will split. Understand? User story. Small requirement is nothing but user story, right? They will split into multiple user stories. Let's say we have 200 user stories, right? 200 user stories. They split the entire requirement into user stories. Now, in the Agile, what we do? We prioritize the user stories. There is a role called product owner. Product owner means who decides the priority. Who decides the priority of the user stories? Which requirement needs to be tested, developed first? Let's say obviously first one is login, right? For this website, first one is login functionality, right? So product owner is from the mostly client side, okay, from the client, okay. They choose the user stories per sprint. Every sprint, sprint is nothing but a time box. We have 2-week sprints, we have 3-week sprints, okay? We have 2-week sprints and we have 3-week sprints also. It depends. I am Microsoft, we have 3-week sprint, but most of the clients we have 2-week sprint, okay. In this 2-week sprint, let's say we committed for 10 user stories, okay. Who will commit? The team, okay. The team says based on the team capacity we committed for 10 user stories. Now we have to develop all these 10 user stories. Again, internally, what we will do for 10 user stories? Again, user story analysis. User story analysis. As a tester, let's say there are 2 testers or 3 testers. One tester got 3 user stories. Second tester got 4 user stories. Third tester got 3 user stories. So, for your user stories, you need to analyze, prepare the test cases, and then execute the test cases. When you will execute? When the application is ready in the testing environment. Clear? So these are the tasks. Again, internally we will follow the waterfall model only, like requirement analysis, design, development, and testing in every sprint. In every sprint. So what is sprint? Tell me. Sprint is nothing but a time box. It's 2 weeks. So let's say right now I am in sprint 61. My sprints ends with 25th. We have 3-week sprints. We are in the first week. We are done with first week. We have two more weeks to go. Understand? We have 2 more weeks to go. So 3 weeks sprint. Then 62 we will start on 28th. Understand? So this is one sprint. Okay. Now my sprint is 3 weeks time. You understand what is sprint now? Sprint is time box. Okay. So in my case, 3 weeks. Okay. Every project is different. Okay. What is user story? Tell me, Tanuja, what is user story? What is user story? What is user story?
Means the work we need to finish the tasks like
User story. User story is nothing but requirement. User story is nothing but requirement. Let me show you some user story. Okay. Who will create the user story? Business analyst. Who will create the user story? Business analyst. Okay. Let's say this is one user story. Okay. This is one user story. User story number 1, login page. You see here, Access Mutual Fund, and given user has existing account with Access Mutual Fund. When user click on the login button, then login option should be displayed. Okay. So what are the options? Via PAN number, via email ID. This option should be displayed. Correct? Then these are all the different scenarios, requirement. First scenario, second scenario, something like that. So user story will have the user story title and description. How many story points? This I will explain. And priority. Right? Now we'll go through this user story. You will understand the user story, right? And you will prepare the test cases for this. Understand the process? Okay. So that is the practical work you do, test case preparation. Okay. User story analysis. User story analysis is nothing but you are reading and understanding you are analyzing basically. You are understanding the requirement. Clear? Let's read out this requirement. What they mentioned. Tanuja, can you read out? Scenario 1.
Just a minute. If user entered wrong,
Oh, sorry.
if user en- sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
if user entered wrong PAN number, user should get a error message. Please enter a correct PAN number.
Okay. What should happen?
Generate OTP button should be disabled.
Okay. Let's go here. Let's sign out. Okay. Again, I am clicking the login button. So use wrong PAN number, right? User entered wrong PAN number. What should happen? User should get a error message, and this generate OTP button should be disabled. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So for this, you will write the test case. So you need to understand the requirement. You need to split this into action and expected result. The test case we will action and expected result. What is the action here? Action means what the user has to do. User has to enter wrong PAN number here. That is the action. What is the expected result? This one. System should return error message. Display, please enter correct PAN number.
Correct PAN.
Understand the action and expected result?
Yes.
Clear? So you need to convert this into test cases. You need to cover the entire requirement into your test cases. What is the second test case? Verify that generate OTP button is disabled. And user got the error message, right? Generate OTP button is disabled when user entered wrong PAN number. That is the test case. Understand? Okay. Like that, you need to prepare the test cases which covers this requirement. Okay? Understand what is user story? User story is nothing but it's a requirement. Like this, we committed for 10 users.
From where we'll get these user stories? From BA?
Yeah, from BA.
Okay.
So you will have the access. So you will use every project, they will use some project management tool. So here we are using the Azure DevOps. Understand? Here we are using the Azure DevOps. Some people they will use the Jira. Go here, work items here in Azure DevOps. You will see all the work items. They will tell you what is the user story number. You have to search here. Let's say this is 1, user story 1. If you set for 1, see, login page. Understand? Clear? Okay. So every sprint you will get some user stories assigned for you. Now my sprint 61, I got this many user stories assigned to me. How many user stories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 users. So I have to work on 5 user stories. Yesterday I prepared the test cases for this user story 258020. So I prepared the test cases. Understand? Action.
So, preparing means what the work you are working on the test case. You are writing that, right?
Yeah, we are writing these test cases. Yeah.
What the work you did for the test case?
The test case creation. Understand? I mentioned the task. What is the first task? User story analysis. I understood the user story. Now I prepared the test cases. What is the next task after this? Test case execution. When we will execution is nothing but actually testing the application. When we will do the testing? When the developer push the changes to the testing environment. Right? So it's not done yet. It will be done in the third week of the sprint. Here, be done in third week of the sprint, in my case. So this task we will do third week of the sprint. Now I am done with 2 tasks for that user story. So every user story we do all these tasks. Got it? So now
Okay.
5 user stories. For 1 user story, I am done with these 2 tasks. Here. Okay. So you need to create a task for your user story. If you go here, you see here user story analysis and test case execution, test case creation will be there, right? Understand? Test case creation and test case execution. So you need to enter some hours for this, like how many hours you need for the analysis. Then within that time you will understand the requirement. Got it? So now you understand what is user story, what is sprint.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are done with one sprint in 2 weeks. Then again next sprint will start, like sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. Like that, you are splitting the project into multiple sprints. Okay, you have total 200 user stories. Okay. You have total 200 user stories for entire project. 200 requirements, right? And every sprint you are developing 10 user stories. Average. So how long this project will go? Tell me. We have 200 user stories.
So each sprint works for a week,
No, each sprint 2 weeks.
2 weeks. If it is 200 stories, right?
200 stories. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 10 sprint.
I said every sprint 10 user stories.
Mhm.
So how many sprints it will go?
So 200 by 10.
Oh, need calculator for that? 200 by
No, no, no.
20. 20
Yeah.
sprints. 20 sprints,
Mhm.
2 weeks.
Mhm.
So it's a 40 weeks project.
Mhm.
Understand? Divided by 4. 10 months project.
Okay.
Understand? Like that, we know the forecast of the project also, based on how much we are delivering for each sprint.
Mhm.
So the project manager or scrum master, they will plan the project like this.
Okay.
That is the duration, right? If everything is fine, every sprint is going fine, the project should end in 10 months.
So sometimes it may take a long time, and sometimes it may take short time, right, to finish the project.
No, no, no. That's what. See, you are giving proper estimates. Every sprint, you are delivering 10 user story. 10 user stories.
Okay.
You can go, but our example is every sprint you are delivering 10 user stories. For example, right? Depends. See what happened. Our sprint 60 ends last week, right? Sprint 60 ends last week. But we did not do the testing because of some issue in the integration testing. So now in this sprint 61, we are doing the testing for sprint 60 user stories. Already we lost 1 week time because of sprint. Now 61, I did not even started looking into the test cases. From tomorrow I will start. Only one test case, one user story. Yesterday I looked into that. I prepared the test cases for one user story. All others still pending. Normally we done with 1 week. Normally first week we go through the user stories and prepare the test cases. That is not done. So we are behind, 1 week behind. Understand? So this sprint effect. Understand? So now all these user stories I need to look and understand and prepare the test cases. Understand? Clear?
Yeah.
So price
Mhm.
can affect with various reasons. Okay? But theoretically, if you are learning Agile, you understand what is sprint. Sprint is some time box. In my case, 3 weeks. Okay? And every sprint we are putting for some user stories. Right? So like that, in Agile model, we go to production multiple times. Understand? So here, everything will happen parallelly. Parallelly means, let's say I have 5 user stories now. See, yesterday what happened, one user story I am done with analysis and I prepared the test cases. Other user story, analysis is not done. Right? In waterfall, what will happen? First, you have to do the requirement analysis, everything for the entire application, all the pages. Then only we'll go to the next phase, design phase. Then only we'll go to the development. So here, in my case, already my developer completed the development of this user story. Debody call. Already my developer completed the development for that user story. I can see the changes also. He made the changes. Understand? The change is somebody close that. See the change. Previously it was 14 days. Now he changed it to 7 days. This is in dev. His changes are in dev right now. Understand? So already one user story development is done. He don't need to wait. Right? So for one user story, he is done with the development. For other user story, he did not even start. So things can happen parallelly here. So if you go here, let me show you. Agile. You see here, traditional model. Tradition means waterfall model. First this phase is done, then we will jump into this phase. Once design is done, we will go to development. Once development is done, we go to testing. But here, you see Agile, everything will happen continuous activities. So I am done with analysis, one user story, then I prepare the test cases. So if the developer is done the development, he can deploy that into the testing phase. I can do the testing for that user story. Only that user story. Understand? Other user stories, again I can do the analysis. So it can happen parallelly, the work. So continuously work will happen. All this phase. We won't be in one particular phase in the Agile. Understand? Every user story is different. The user story can be in analysis phase or can be in testing phase or can be in design phase or can be in development phase. Understand? Got it? So that is the difference between waterfall and Agile. So what will happen here? The customer can see the immediately working version of the software. Then he can give the feedback. Okay? In 2 weeks time, customer can see something is working, right? Some small functionality, not entire web application, right? So let's say if you take the example of accessmutualfund.com, at least he can see, okay, this login user story is done. He can see the login functionality is working fine, right? Let's say, then second user story is dashboard page. He can see the dashboard page. Then he can give the feedback. Understand? So like that, every sprint, he sees some working version of the software. Right? Like that, slowly, the web application will be done. See, first sprint, let's say this is the example. First sprint, you see, iterative development means starting with something really simple and adding it to incrementally over time. Over the period, after a couple of sprints, it will be like this. Understand? First sprint, second sprint, third sprint. Understand? Got it? So like that, okay, we will complete the project. See here, I will show you. See, January month, we are taking some user stories, we are doing requirement analysis, design, development, testing. Then we are done with first iteration, first sprint. Then We are going to sprint 2. Again, we are doing the same thing, but user stories will be different. Now we are done with sprint 2. Now we are going to sprint 3. Understand? This is monthly sprint. Is it clear? Clear?
Yeah.
That is how we do. But if you go to waterfall model, see, waterfall model, let's say it is a 10 months project something. From January to February, mid of February, we are doing the requirement analysis, 1.5 month. Then February 15th to April 15th, 3 months we are doing the design. Once we are done with requirement analysis, then only we come to the design phase. Then once the design is done, then we come to the development. Let's say 4 months something development. Then once the development is done, we will go for the testing. Then again we have integration testing, UAT and everything. It goes to the production. Understand? One after one we go. Right? So there is a formula in the market. So your overall time, let's say it can be 1 year or 10 months. 15% of the time will go for the planning. Say it's a 10 months project. 15% of the time means how much? 1.5 month.
Mhm.
So 1.5 month we spend for the planning. 20% of the time going for the design. 2 months for the design. Then 40% of the time going for the development. 4 months. Then 20% of the time going for the testing. 2 months. Like that we are dividing the 10 months into different phases. Understand? This is the schedule of the project. You need to have the schedule, right? Okay, this is the schedule. Even this is the roadmap. Even if you are going for the agile also, we will have the schedule. What is the schedule? Okay, sprint 1, this date to this date. Sprint 2, this date to this date. My case, 61 will end on the 25th. Then 62 will start on the 20th. Again 3 weeks. 62 will start on the 16th, December 16th. Understand? Right? Understand? Okay, like that, the entire project we split into multiple releases. Every sprint is one. Got it? So again, there are different meetings or ceremonies will be in the agile model. That we will have separate session for that because it will take one complete session. For now, remember the name story pointing meeting. We will assign the story points for the user stories. Then sprint planning meeting. We will plan for the sprint, like distribute the work. These 2 meetings will happen before the sprint starts. Right? Once the sprint starts, then we will have the daily stand-up meeting. So this daily stand-up meeting, every day it will happen at same time. Right?
Yes.
They will attend and they will give the status. They will give the status. Okay. Then sprint review meeting, demo, after the sprint is over. Then sprint retrospective meeting. Like what went well, what went wrong, and everything we will discuss in the sprint retrospective. I will explain in detail in the next session. Okay, it will take one complete session. But already all these topics are there in our course material. Okay.
Okay. Actually, stories are like what to test, what to test, right?
Story is not but a requirement.
Okay. For the
Story
testing, testing people, right?
no, for everyone. Developer will develop
Okay.
story, you will test. Understand?
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
everybody has to go through it. So developer
Okay.
will go and he will develop. Because he is a developer.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
will also go and understand that one. We will test it.
Mm-hmm.
So every
And,
user story, there will be developer and there will be tester for that.
yes.
Be dev member and there will be test member. Every user story. Understand? And who creates
Okay.
story is business analyst. How he
Okay.
creates will communicate with the end users. I mean stakeholders. He will gather the requirement and he will document here. So
Okay.
still, until the last minute, the requirement can change. Say
Okay.
you prepared you gone through the user story, you understand, and you prepared the test case. Last minute, the customer came and he can ask the changes. He can make the changes in the user story. Then what you will do? Again, you need to change the test cases. So changes are welcome in the Agile. Until the last minute, requirements will change in the Agile. But waterfall, it won't happen.
Okay. So,
Until
still people are using waterfall
no,
now?
not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not now. But I worked for Nationwide Insurance in 2006 in Columbus. Then they were using waterfall.
Okay.
Now everyone converted into Agile.
Okay.
Almost everyone. Because it's easy to track the progress in Agile. Okay. User story, there will be status. Right. When it started working, it will be new status. When the developer started working, it will be active. He will change it. When he completed, he will resolve. Ready for testing. Then tester has to. Let me show you this one. Okay. Okay. You see here, we have new active close, right? Initially, it will be new. So when he started working, he will change it to active. Okay. So when it is ready for testing, when he push the changes into the testing environment, then he will change it to ready for test. It is not here because this is the trial version, not the real time one. Real time here. This is the user story. You see here, active resolve. Sorry, not this is the task. This is the user story. You see here. Now this is in ready for debug. We have so many status we are maintaining. Ready to test, right? We will change it to ready to test. Once I am testing, I am done with the testing, then I will change it to test complete, MS test complete. All the statuses are coming from your backend.